It often starts not with a bang, but with a whisper. A letter for a credit card you never applied for. A small, unfamiliar charge on your bank statement. For hundreds of women, these whispers became a roar that tore their financial lives apart. This wasn't just about stolen money. It was about stolen identity, peace of mind, and security. The chameleon breach exposed a terrifying truth. The systems we trusted were built on a fragile foundation. Before this, identity theft was seen as a minor inconvenience. Banks would reimburse losses, and life moved on. But this case revealed a systemic failure, not just a few clever criminals. Trust, the invisible currency of our financial world, could be manufactured, manipulated, and broken. The emotional toll was immense. Fear, shame, and helplessness lingered long after the accounts were closed. This is not just a tale of technological failure, but a human story. Single mothers lost child support payments. Elderly women saw their life savings vanish. Caregivers had their futures stolen. Their experiences forced a global conversation about responsibility and protection in the digital age. The chameleon breach shifted the blame from individuals to institutions, changing everything. This exposé is a call to action, a lesson in resilience and the need for change. We'll explore how the crisis became a catalyst, why women were targeted, and how outdated rules failed them. Most importantly, we'll see how the aftermath led to stronger protections for all of us. Before the chameleon breach, banking was all about convenience, online accounts, instant loans, everything at your fingertips. But this push for speed created weaknesses no one anticipated. Trust was based on simple facts: your name, date of birth, social security number, and a password. The industry hadn't realized this data was no longer secure. Identity theft was seen as rare, and banks focused on reimbursing losses, not prevention. This left the door wide open for criminals who understood the system's flaws. Years of data breaches had created a dark marketplace for our information. Security questions, your mother's maiden name, your first pet, were now commodities. Banks clung to outdated authentication, assuming only you knew the answers. This was the critical crack the chameleon breach would exploit. The breach exposed that digital locks were far easier to pick than anyone wanted to admit. It was a painful wake-up call. The very definition of identity needed to be rebuilt for the digital age. The genius of the chameleon breach was its subtlety. Criminals didn't just steal identities. They built synthetic ones from fragments of real data, often from women with limited credit history. They assembled these pieces into believable, fictional people, a digital ghost with a real name and social security number, but no true owner. The fraudsters started small store credit cards, mobile plans, building a positive credit history. Over months, the ghost's credit score climbed, making it appear legitimate. With a credible identity, they opened bank accounts, targeting online banks with minimal human checks. The synthetic identity passed automated systems, opening checking, savings, and credit lines. To the bank, this was a new, trustworthy customer. The criminals then moved money rapidly, using payment apps, wire transfers, and crypto to launder funds. Multiple accounts were drained in hours. By the time alarms sounded, the money was gone. The digital ghost vanished, leaving chaos and real victims behind. The heist was complete before anyone realized what had happened. The chameleon breach was chillingly precise. Women were disproportionately targeted. Single mothers, juggling complex finances, were easy to exploit. Their records were noisy, masking fraud. Elderly women, often less familiar with modern banking, faced transitions after a spouse's death. Prime moments for attack. Criminals used deceased spouses' information, or targeted women managing finances alone for the first time. Caregivers, mostly women, were too busy to monitor accounts closely, making them vulnerable. Even social media habits played a role. Women shared more personal details, giving criminals material to bypass security. The expectation for women to be open online was weaponized against them. In identity theft, gender became a strategic vulnerability. The breach revealed how societal roles and digital habits made women prime targets. When victims sought help, they hit a wall of bureaucracy. Banks assumed the account holder was responsible until proven otherwise, demanding endless paperwork and police reports. Victims, already in crisis, faced impossible hurdles, especially single mothers and elderly women. Rigid rules meant victims couldn't close fraudulent accounts if they failed security questions set by thieves. Each institution required separate battles, turning recovery into a full-time job. The system lacked a victim-centric response, compounding trauma and leaving many feeling powerless. For women, especially caregivers and the elderly, navigating this maze was nearly impossible. The very procedures meant to protect became instruments of further harm. The chameleon breach sparked a regulatory revolution. Regulators demanded banks move from reactive to proactive, overhauling identity verification. Multi-factor authentication became standard. Knowledge-based questions were no longer enough. Banks invested in biometrics and analytics to spot anomalies and flag suspicious applications. Information sharing improved. Banks could alert each other to synthetic identities in real time. Mandatory breach reporting laws ensured customers weren't left in the dark. Accountability increased. Banks faced larger fines and were held responsible for broader harm. Compliance became a core part of a bank's promise, not just a cost. The new shield was built from technology, collaboration, and responsibility. The industry was forced to put customer protection at the center. Stronger security came at a cost. Banks invested billions, processes became slower, and customers faced more steps. But these small inconveniences are the layers of a new shield, protecting our digital identities. For women, the impact is real. Banking is less seamless but far more secure. The chameleon breach taught us that true convenience is peace of mind. The most powerful lesson, though, is the strength of vigilance and sisterhood. Women can protect themselves. Check credit reports, use strong passwords, be skeptical of suspicious messages. Most importantly, talk to each other, share experiences, warn friends, build a community of awareness. Collective defense is stronger than any technology. The breach forced the industry to confront its flaws and build resilience. It reminded us that digital lives have real consequences. Our greatest strength is in shared knowledge and collective vigilance. Trust is now earned, verified, and protected together. In a world of digital threats, sisterhood is our strongest defense.